Do you believe, the person watching this video right now, that a heaven or hell exist? If so, why? In today's video, I'm going to talk about why I don't believe hell exists, and if it does exist, it doesn't make any logical sense. But before we dive into the topic of hell, Audible.com is a website hosted by Amazon, which is a huge website that has hundreds upon hundreds and thousands of audiobooks for your listening, entertainment, and enjoyment. If you're anything like me, I read a lot of books, but at the same time, I'm running out of storage space in my own physical room, as you can see behind me, and I have been listening to audiobooks. As of recently, I've been listening to John Green's Paper Towns, and I've been kind of hooked on all of John Green's books. If you don't know who he is, he's the Vlogbrothers on YouTube. But if you're anything like me and you're running out of room and you just want to put something on your MP3 player and have it easily accessible when you're running or you're on a long drive, Audible.com is the website for you, because if you use my name down below, Mr. Repzion, upon your subscription, you will actually get a free audiobook of your choosing. If you don't like Audible.com, you can unsubscribe to them, and you still get a free audiobook of your choosing. So it's a win-win situation, and they have everything, I stress everything, that you could possibly want to listen to, from Game of Thrones, my personal favorite, to Star Wars, to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So my first reason as to why I don't believe in hell, or why I find the concept of hell not believable, is the aspect of torture and torment that is supposedly justified for eternity. If you're not familiar with Christian theology, in most cases, unless it's a different denomination, hell is a very literal place. It is a place that when you die, if you do not become a Christian, you do not accept Jesus into your life, when you go to hell, you will suffer eternal torment for eternity. Eternity, if you don't know what it means, is forever. That means there's no, it's a permanent damnation state. You're fucked, essentially. And to be honest, I've really never understood this concept that people are punished eternally for not believing in God, much less people who may have never even heard the gospel of Jesus Christ. There's thousands, there's millions, there's what, how many millions, even, is it millions or billions of people on this face of the earth who have never heard Christianity taught before. They don't even know what a Bible is, much less when I went to Africa, people didn't even know what the internet was, coffee was. They didn't know. There's parts of the world that are completely naive and know nothing about anything outside their own little village. That being said, when I hear that people who do not become, who do not hear the gospel of Jesus Christ, who do not have a chance to even temporarily hear the message that the Bible portrays, whatever that is, of Savior and redemption and love and mercy and forgiveness and, yeah, on and on and on. These people around the world don't even get to hear that. And yet, they're still, when they die, they're still going to hell, and they're going to be eternally punished because they didn't hear the gospel. I've just never quite understood that, and I think it's wrong. Whether you support the death penalty or not, I do not condone someone being tortured and tortured and tortured and tortured and tortured forever. I know, realistically speaking, we humans cannot comprehend that concept because, you know, if you get tortured enough, you're probably eventually going to die. But if a so-called hell exists, that's not the case. Hell, to me, is a supernatural act, a place which supposedly was created by God to banish people who are sinners and who do not believe in Him. My second problem with the concept of hell is that essentially you and me have to worship our own abuser. I don't care how you slice it and dice it. I don't care how you try to justify it. But if you pick up a goddamn Bible and you read some of the stories and the things that supposedly the loving, merciful God condones and wishes and commands His people to do, He abuses that power. And the fact that He calls us to worship Him means that we're worshiping a fucking abuser. Someone who's not worthy of worship, in my personal, humble opinion. One of the biggest detractors for me on religion, and I think many of you will know this, is the fact of how religion instills fear. And many people, myself included when I was trying to leave religion, were afraid of the outcome of leaving religion. You were afraid that what if what you were taught was true, and if you leave, something's bad's going to happen to you, or when you die, you're going to be eternally tormented because you chose a different path. Another thing about hell that doesn't really make a lot of sense is what is known as human depravity, or when you're born, you're automatically sinful. The moment you're pushed out of a vagina, you are a sinful, evil person. And the only way that you can be fixed is by becoming a Christian. And by becoming a Christian, you are saved from hell. by believing in Jesus Christ. But let's please be honest for a moment. Many of these so-called sins are things that are completely natural. Example, masturbation. In Christianity, you're not supposed to masturbate. If you look at a woman with lust, if you look at a woman sexually, if you're attracted to a woman sexually, and if you're not married, that's committing adultery. That's sin. Selfishness. Now, we could argue all day whether or not selfishness is always bad or always good, but inherently, we are, to an extent, all of us have a selfish side. A lot of these types of things, and I could go on with like idolatry or, jealousy, these are completely natural things that every single human has. It's part of being human. This is a normal type of human behavior. When I was growing up, I was greedy. I wanted more than one cookie all of the time. I got spankings when I would disobey my parents. No real God creates life with these certain attributes, and then all of a sudden demands that we stop executing and displaying these sorts of attributes under the pain of eternal torture. I think the ultimate thing that you and me need to realize, though, regarding the concept of hell, is that a lot of people are attached to the concept because they don't know what else there is. There's nothing else. They don't know of anything else other than what they've been taught. And, we can call it religious indoctrination. You can call it whatever you want to. When people believe things in religion due to fear, I don't believe it's genuine. And if a hell really does exist and they're not genuine about it and they're only doing it out of fear, would they not automatically go to hell? The concept of hell is just silly to me. There's no logical reason to believe it other than the main reason of fear. Fear and control. And that's what I feel is religion really tries to do, is tries to pinpoint people down and to say, if you don't do this, this is going to happen to you. I faced it. I think a lot of people who are religious have faced it, and it's something that you should never conform to. Never stop thinking for yourself. Think for yourself and question everything. Because when you do that and you start questioning and you start asking questions about the concept of hell while you're in church like I did, that's what made me question Christianity, is because I questioned one of my teachers who was talking about, when we die, we will go to hell if we're not saved and we don't believe in Jesus. And I questioned him on the spot in the Sunday school class. And I asked him, I believe if I remember correctly, I asked him, how can a loving God send us to hell? And he said, well, something to the liking of, he created us, he can do what he wants with us. If that's true, fuck off, I want nothing to do with you. Because you just can't create me and expect me to worship an abuser. I won't do it. So this was my relatively short video, under 10 minutes, on why I do not believe in hell. I'm not refuting the concept, I'm simply expressing to you why I don't personally believe it. I'm going to be making a video next week, actually probably a lot more in-depth than this video, as to why I don't believe in heaven, because I believe the concept of heaven is actually more damaging than the concept of hell. And as I mentioned at the start of this video, if you use my name, audible.com/MrRepzion, you will get a free audiobook of your choosing. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. I will have a video up for you guys next week.